Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, everybody. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. So this happened. I guess it was Christmas Eve. When I first came to this country a long time ago. It was the day before Christmas Eve, but it was leading into Christmas Eve. So I could not believe that stores in America stayed open really late. I just couldn't get my head around it. Back in Ireland, back then, everything closed at 6 p.m. I mean, everything. I even think the cops shut up and shut their doors and went home at 6 p.m. Everything closed at 6 p.m. Nothing stayed late. Like, if you didn't get your food in by 6 p.m., you are fucked. Okay, I even think hospitals closed at 6 p.m. It was crazy. Everything closed. But in America, everything stayed open, like, all night long. 24-hour stores, 24-hour Walmart, gas stations. I couldn't believe this, okay? So it was right before Christmas Eve. Like, I think it was like 11:30, 11:45. Me and my girlfriend were in bed, and she was asleep, and I was watching the TV, you know? And it got to be like close to midnight then. And I started to get really hungry, really peckish, but we didn't have any food in the house. So I put on my jacket and I went out. And I went to the store. And I got the biggest, maddest bag of potato chips you could think of. Like a family size potato chips. So I'm happy. Came back home. Got out of my clothes. Got into bed with my bag of potato chips and started watching a movie, you know, and she's fast asleep. And I'm digging into these potato chips and I'm loving them, blah, 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 blah. And I get about halfway done, you know, and I kind of roll them up, put them on the sideboard or the side bed table, and then I leave the TV on, but I turn out the little light and I go to sleep, you know. So I'm sleeping. About 3 a.m. I wake up and I'm still fucking hungry. Like, I'm starving. You know what I mean? I'm starving like Marvin. So I turn up the volume on the TV a little bit. She's fast asleep. And I start digging back into these potato chips, man. Fucking loving these potato chips. Man, I'm just munching into them. And then I notice something. Like, I look over at her, right? And there's this fucking fart smell. It didn't come from me, okay? One of these silent but deadly fucking nasty farts. And I'm looking over at her, I'm like, at my girlfriend, I'm thinking, what the fuck? Man, what the fuck? I'm like, Jesus, man, that is nasty. But I'm a non-judgmental person, you know? So I'm like, for fuck's sake, that's fucking nasty. Like, I didn't think women were supposed to fart like that, you know? So I'm like eating back into my potato chips. Fucking loving them, digging them, like licking my fingers, getting my bag, just getting into my potato chips. And I can still smell this fucking fart coming from her. And I'm like, again, are you kidding me? Another silent but deadly. And then I started to notice, right? Started to bring my head around, and I noticed the smell wasn't coming from her. It was coming from the bag of potato chips, right? It was the nastiest fucking smell I've ever smelled in my life. It was like sewage 101. So I put my nose in the potato chips, and lo and behold, it's coming from there inside. And I'm smelling, I'm like, what the fuck? And then I noticed, because I've got a big handful of potato chips, it is coming from there, but that's not the source of it. And I turned to my hand, and I'm like, it's coming from my hand. And then I started to put everything together, because I started to feel something around, I don't mean to be crude here, but something around my asshole. Like, my ass was kind of raw, you know? So I started to put all the pieces of the picture together. And what I deduced is that when I went to sleep the first time and put the potato chips on the side table, I believed that I had an itchy ass, and I went right into the crack and just started, I must have, because it was red raw, I must have just scraped it so fucking hard. Like, not even scratched it, just scraped in there. Because I was starting to feel, man, I should put some cream down there because it feels raw. And it must have been, I had this like crazy frenzied scratch in my ass. And I'll be honest with you, right? I shouldn't say this, but I wasn't the most hygienic person back then because I'd come from a third world country, And, I'm just saying it. I mean, Irish people can get angry at me, but you know what I mean? I wasn't the most hygienic person in there. So I was scratching in there. And then I woke up and I started like milling into these potato chips. Man, I was licking my, the way they get greasy? I was licking my fingers. I was getting in there like a nutcase, man, right? And as a result, because it was Christmas Eve, I got really sick for Christmas. I mean, really sick. I got fecal poisoning, severe toxic poisoning, And I had to go to the doctor and everything. And I almost thought I had to go to the hospital. But hey, you know what? Don't fucking judge me, man. That could happen to anybody. That could fucking happen to anybody. Anybody, man. You know what I mean? You're telling me when you're asleep, man, your body moves unconsciously, like subconsciously. It's doing things you're not aware of,